flags blowing. Wind blowing from left to right. Big ballpark here at Disch-Falk Field in Austin. 340 down the left field line, 325 right, 375 in the power alleys, and 400 to straightaway center, plus the high wall in center field. Tim Henderson will call balls and strikes. Tom Jenkins at first. Randy Crystal and John Bible, both College World Series veteran umpires, will be at second and third. Discussion going on with the coaches, checking baselines, and this should be an interesting ball game. Michigan, ranked very highly in the preseason polls, just started its season on Friday. They're down here visiting Edinburgh, Texas for the Citrus Tournament, which they won last year. Pan American hosting that tournament, and it begins tomorrow. Michigan will play St. John's. They beat Miami of Ohio 7-3 on Friday, and then yesterday lost to Central Michigan 11-5. So their third ball game of the season, and they've got to play the Texas Longhorns.
Well, I think that's a tough assignment, especially with the fact that Texas has 29 ball games under their belt already, and they're relaxed. Michigan, you have the first few game jitters no matter who you are, and it's interesting that the Michigan Wolverines were voted in the top 5 in the country before they ever played a ball game.
Take a look at ESPN's collegiate baseball top 25. Oklahoma State still undefeated. We'll see the Cowboys in a couple of weeks at Texas A&M. You see Miami, Texas 3, defending national champion Stanford. There's Michigan, number 5 this week. Loyola Marymount bouncing back. LSU is there. Arkansas, another Southwest Conference team. Mississippi State Bulldogs, we'll see them coming up soon. There you see A&M, ranked 11th in the nation. We'll see them, as I mentioned, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Southern Cal, Florida State, Cal State, Fullerton, Arizona, Hawaii, Clemson. Maybe we could go to Hawaii tonight, Joe. Oklahoma, Fresno State, we'll see them later in the season. And Nebraska, Big 8 battle between Nebraska and Oklahoma State shaping up. Arizona State is up there. BYU, Wichita State, New Orleans, and Kentucky. A look at the top 25. Bud Middaugh, the head coach, coaches down the third base line. Ted Mahan down at first base. First pitch of the ball game from Eric Stone is outside, ball one. Eddie Woolwine is the hitter, a senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, who's been hindered with injuries throughout his career. Last year, got off to a good start, couple of base hits, and jammed his fingers diving into first base. Cost him several weeks in the season.
As we see here, Eric Stone is a little inconsistent at the beginning of a ball game. This is what Coach Gustafson is worried about. He can either be great at the beginning or he's horrible. There's no in between.
Good fastball. Stone throws hard. They clock him upper 80s, sometimes around 90.
Has a good slider, good curveball on a given day. And on a given day, any of those 3 pitches can be his best pitch. He's not really a one-pitch pitcher.
Count is even on Eddie Woolwine, who hit .293 last year and was limited to just 75 at-bats because of all the injuries. His previous year as a sophomore, he hit .343 in 45 ball games.
Well, I think one of the things that Middaugh wants to do is get as much experience in here tonight as possible.
Fouls the back, count stays at 2-2.
You were talking about the flag blowing from left to right. All of a sudden, it's blowing straight in, Sam, and I don't think any ball is going to go out of here to left field, or especially the center field tonight. There you see the flags blowing almost straight in.
Second at bat of the season for Eddie Woolwine. On the ground to short. Chavelis is there. And across to Eddie Toledo. One man down. Good crowd here at Disch-Falk Field. It could have been bigger, but for the temperature. I think Michigan expected it to be in the 80s. They could have stayed up north and played baseball. It's quite chilly here tonight. But it is a good crowd here to see Michigan, to see the Longhorns, and to see Jim Abbott. Number 2 man in the order, Steve Finken, the third baseman. Finken has moved around the infield. He played shortstop in the game against Miami of Ohio on Friday. Last year, he was an all Big Ten second baseman. But moved to shortstop, they feel he's got better range. Actually, Finken is playing third. He played shortstop the other day. Excuse me, played shortstop against Miami of Ohio. Bill St. Peter, who played third, has been moved to shortstop.
All of a sudden now, Eric Stone is throwing awfully hard.
Interesting. A challenge, Joe, because of a team that hasn't had many at-bats and faced live pitching?
Well, I really think it's the Jim Abbott syndrome. What happens is usually pitchers, when they face a pitcher who might be an All-American or who has more notoriety than they do, they kind of jack it up a notch, and they usually come out throwing very hard.
Up high with that fastball, count 2-2.
And that's exactly what Coach Gustafson wanted him to do tonight. He wanted him to be jacked up a little bit.
Fastball up the middle, past Chemelis into center field. Finken with a base hit. With one man down, Cesarik gets it back in. Finken, his first 2 times up this season, hit home runs against Miami of Ohio, so he was ready for the start of the season.
We'll get a good look at this pitch. It's a sinker down and away. Actually hits it back through the middle. Good piece of hitting by Finken. Good college try by Chemelis.
So runner at first, Steve Finken. And the batter is a freshman, Greg Hager. Hager swings a good bat, good fielding first baseman in the lineup. Led his high school team to the Michigan State Championship last year and played for the junior national team last summer after playing in the Olympic Festival in Colorado Springs.
He also hit a home run his first official time at bat this year, Sam. He walked his first at bat, and then he hit a home run the next time.
Good fastball by Stone. Eric Stone was freshman of the year at Lamar 2 years ago and All Southland Conference. And then they changed coaches at Lamar. Tossed to first. And that bothered Eric Stone. He wanted to leave. Asked for a release and never got it, so he had to go to Seminole Junior College for a year and led them to the championship round. They lost to San Jacinto 2-1.
I was noticing that they have a lot of guys from Seminole Junior College, which is in Oklahoma, on the Texas Longhorn team. They must have a pipeline.
You know, there's a feeder there. Good throw over. Finken dives back in. Finken stole 27 bases last year in 31 tries.
And you know, Michigan wants to run. They want to be an aggressive type of a baseball team, and I think they'll try to do something very shortly.
Count is 0-2 on Greg Hager. Outside. Took a little off that pitch.
Stone's delivery is normal. It's not too quick, not too slow. He's about average coming to the plate. He doesn't have a real high leg kick, and he doesn't have a low one. He's kind of just an average pitcher in all respects.
Fastball on the outside corner. Hager is called out on strikes.
That's not an average fastball.
See the look of determination on Stone.
Watch the catcher's target. Right on the outside corner.
2 men down. And Phil Price, sophomore from Oregon, Ohio, steps in. Led the team in hitting last season with a .387 average. Runner goes. The throw is high, and Finken's got it stolen, but he overslid the bag, and he's tagged out. Bethay stayed with him. Good play by the second baseman. Finken had the bag stolen. The throw is high, but he overslid it, went off the bag, and Bethay tagged him out. So the side's retired. Michigan gets a hit. No one left on, and the Longhorns come to bat in the bottom of the first with no score. Let's look at the Longhorns lineup. The Texas Longhorns are 24-5 and ranked 3rd in the nation. They're coached by Cliff Gustafson. In his 21st year, he now has 1,015 career wins. Leading off, the shortstop, Joel Chemelis, a junior. He's second on the team with a .381 batting average. Batting second baseman Steve Bethay, a junior who's hitting .323 with 25 RBIs. Batting third and playing center field, senior Brian Cesarik. He's hitting .360 and has walked 35 times in 29 games. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Scott Bryant, a sophomore. 16 of his 28 hits have been for extra bases. Batting fifth, the left fielder, David Tollison, a freshman. He's tied for the team lead with 27 RBIs. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Mike Patrick, a senior. He also has 27 RBIs and leads the team with a .412 batting average. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Eddie Toledo, a junior. He led the nation with 103 RBIs at Seminole Junior College last year. Batting eighth, the catcher, Brian Johnson, a junior. He's hitting .276. And batting ninth, the third baseman, Craig Newkirk, a right-handed hitter. He's back in the lineup against the left-hander. He's hitting .250.
The Michigan defense will have Tom Brock in right field. Craig McMurtry will be the center fielder. Eddie Woolwine will be in left field. Steve Finken is the third baseman. Bill St. Peter will play shortstop. Chris Gagin is the second baseman. Greg Hager is the first baseman. Mike Gillette will be behind the plate. And on the mound, left-hander Jim Abbott.
And what a fantastic season he had. 20-year-old junior Jim Abbott. There you see the glove. Watch him maneuver. And he handles his position well. What a story for the left-hander who was 11-3 last year. Pitched a shutout in the NCAA regionals when Michigan was eliminated in the Northeast Regional, which was played in Atlanta. How do you play a Northeast Regional in Atlanta? But anyway, they were eliminated in 3 games. Abbott won the only game, a 10-0 shutout over Ryder. He had a stretch last season where he went 31 innings without giving up a run, pitched back-to-back shutouts in conference games. Went 35 innings without giving up an earned run. And let's take a look at the motion and how he deals with the glove and the switch of hands.
I think it's very interesting that he's gotten it down to a science. He says he can get it on and off in 1 second. That's pretty quick.
He was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays out of high school. He'll be eligible for the Major League draft again this summer. Texas Longhorns come to bat, bottom of the first. Longhorns trying to make it a clean sweep of the weekend. Friday and Saturday they defeated Oklahoma. And now meeting Michigan. Joel Chamelis, this is quite a story. Coming out of junior college by way of Brooklyn, New York. Didn't figure on him starting, and he's hitting .381, second on the team.
Here's a guy that didn't practice well, didn't look like he was going to be the starter, but once the thing started for real, he took over and became the #1 shortstop on this Texas Longhorn team.
They gave him a chance. They can't get him out of the lineup. He's hit the ball so well. He's not your ideal leadoff man. He doesn't get many walks, but he swings the bat well, hits the ball hard.
Two things happen when you face a guy like Jim Abbott. Either you get so psyched up because he is an All-American, a Sullivan Award winner and all these things, or you get caught up in the motion of watching him and not really doing your job.
Fastball hit in the air, foul. Out of the ballpark, down the right side. Count is 1-2.
I think one of the things Texas has to do is be aggressive against Abbott. They cannot let him dictate what they do. They cannot wait for the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. They have to go out and attack it. He does throw a fastball. Unlike Eric Stone, he does have one dominant pitch, and that is the fastball. And when he gets in trouble, he will go to the fastball.
One-two to Chamelis. Foul back. Jim Abbott starred for the United States team in the Pan Am Games, was 8-1, and as Joe mentioned prior to the start of the ball game, defeated the Cuban team in Cuba. What a win. And he had the fans cheering for him. The kids were following him around the streets in Havana.
And no United States pitcher had done that in 25 years. I think that's the key thing there.
Breaking ball, nice pitch on the ground. Good play by the third baseman Finken, and a good arm across. He's out. Ball popping out of the glove of the first baseman Hager, but as he prepared to throw, that's Finken at third.
That was an excellent defensive play by Steve Finken. You have to either charge the ball quickly or back up, and he came right in, got it on the short hop, which is what you want to do. Makes an excellent throw to first base.
One man down in the bottom half of the first inning. Cliff Gustafson. Here's another story. You talk of the all-time great baseball coaches. Third all-time in career wins with 1,015. And Bill Bethea, whose sons, Steve and Scott, are both on this team. Steve starting and is at the plate right now. The second baseman makes the fastball for a strike. Switch hitter. He's batting right-handed. And though he's only been batting left-handed for a little over a year, he's a better left-handed hitter than he is right-handed.
Which is unusual. since he hit mostly right-handed before.
Slow curveball in the dirt. Man behind the plate is Mike Gillette, the catcher, who was Jim Abbott's roommate. So you know that he likes to catch his roomie. 1-1. Fastball hit in the air down the right field line, but slicing foul. And the count is 1-2. Abbott a little late.
Abbott is throwing good. I don't think they really he's overpowering yet, but it's taken a while. This is his first start of the season. I would think it would take him at least 2 innings before he feels very comfortable out there on the mound.
Seems to be in a nice rhythm.
Right.
Motion seems to be good. Michigan worked out in their field house, indoor field house on artificial turf. Good pitch, breaking pitch, got him. Bethay goes down swinging, 2 men down.
Anytime you throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball and you can get a curveball close to the plate like this, especially keeping it down, you're going to strike out a lot of hitters. It starts in the strike zone, breaks down. That's a pretty good curveball there.
2 men down. Jim Abbott pitched on ESPN national television as a freshman in the Dome in Minnesota, and the Gophers beat him. But he had the last word that year. He came back in the Big Ten championship game and struck out 10 and beat Minnesota. Here's Brian Cesarek. Last time we saw Texas and Cesarek in Miami, he was in the slump, dropped down to about 332 and is snapped out of it. Is back up to 360. Hit a home run off a left-hander yesterday.
He's a fine hitter. Last time I saw him was in the College World Series, and he was hitting line drives all over Omaha Stadium, so he's a good hitter.
One problem that Cesarek is having this year is that they're pitching around him. He's walked 35 times. He's not seeing that many good pitches.
Well, I think that's the toughest thing to adjust to. Is I saw that last week with Stanford. Anytime you have some notoriety, the pitchers begin to pitch a little different. You have to start thinking a little differently at the plate. You have to concentrate a little harder. You have to make sure you get a good pitch. And in the early part of the season, he was waiting, not getting pitches to hit, and then all of a sudden he started going out of the strike zone, and when you do that, you're going to be out.
Fastball down low. Count is 2-0. 2 men down, bottom half of the first inning. There's no score. 20-year-old Jim Abbott, a junior out of Flint, Michigan. Struck out 60 last season. Slow curveball got the outside corner.
That was a beautiful pitch there. I didn't know he had that one. I don't think Cesarek did either.
See the poise and confidence written all over Jim Abbott. Dropped down a little on that pitch. Stayed inside. 3-1.
But I think you also see why Cesarek is hitting third, even against the left-hander. He did not bail out. He didn't move. He was right on the pitch, took it for a ball inside. He is a good hitter. He sprays the ball around, so usually left-handers don't bother guys that spray the ball around.
Fastball down low. Cesarek gets his 36th walk of the season. And this is 30th ball game. 2-out walk to Cesarek. And Abbott will face big power man for the Texas Longhorns and Scott Bryant, sophomore right fielder. Bryant's got power to all fields. His last 2 home runs have been to the opposite field. And as is the case when you've got a guy behind Cesarek, if Bryant is going well, it helps Cesarek.
Well, he's the key to their ball club, I believe, for them going all the way this year, or at least getting to the World Series. He has to hit behind Cesarek because they need Cesarek's bat in order to continue to produce runs. And if the pitchers can pitch around Cesarek, it's going to put a big burden on the rest of the Texas hitters.
Cesarek, a good base runner at first, but certainly will be careful with the left-handers. Cesarek has stolen 11 bases in 13 tries this season. Now he goes over to Bill Bethay, the first base coach, to make sure he didn't miss a sign. See if anything's on.
When you watch Abbott on the mound, I think the thing that I'm most impressed with is the way that he just handles himself on the mound. He looks like a great pitcher. He stands there and he looks in, and you get the impression he's saying to you, "You can't hit me." That's what great pitchers have.
Tough pitch down low, and Bryant chased it. Bud Middaugh. He's won over 300 games at 2 Division I schools, Miami of Ohio and now Michigan. Cesarek a good lead at first. Pitch out, nothing going on. I don't know about pitching out with a left-hander.
I don't believe in it personally, but I mean, you have reasons sometimes. I guess if you have a Tim Raines on first base, you might as well pitch out. But I think that a left-hander can usually keep a guy close enough that he gives a catcher a good shot at it.
Plus a right-handed batter, the catcher's got a good view of the first baseman and the first base side. Took a little off that pitch, had Bryant out in front, count is 1-2.
We'll get a good look at this off-speed breaking ball. There you see it breaking down and out of the strike zone. One of the real pluses for a left-handed pitcher is if he can start balls near the strike zone and let them move out of the strike zone, he will get most of the right-handed hitters out because they're trying to pull the ball and they usually pull off. I think that's another thing that Jim Abbott has going for him, that he has good control as we've seen here so far tonight, and he's left-handed.
Runner goes. Breaking pitch, line in the left center field, a base hit. If it goes through, the run will score. It's cut off by Woolwine, but Cesarek will make it. Cesarek scores. It's a double for Bryant, and Texas leads 1-0. So they started the runner and cashed in. 26th RBI of the season for Scott Bryant as he ripped it into left center.
This is not a bad pitch by any means. It's just good hitting. See, that pitch is down and out of the strike zone. That's just good hitting. Bryant went down and got the ball, and he found the gap in left center field.
Woolwine did a good job getting over there. Had it gone to the wall, probably would have been a triple, but no chance to get Cesarek, who was running on the pitch.
If he would not have been running on the pitch, he would not have scored. So that's another Gus ball, as they call it here in Texas.
So a two-out rally for Texas. A walk and a double gives the Longhorns a 1-0 lead, and freshman David Tollison is playing left field tonight. Last time we saw him, he played center field at Miami. He's played some third base and looks to be the third baseman of the future. A very versatile young man. And he's got 27 RBIs. Breaking pitch, he went around, it bounces away from the catcher, Gillette. And on to third goes Bryant. Pitch is strike two as Tollison went around on the breaking pitch.
Abbott seems to have all the right-handers chasing his breaking pitch. There you see Tollison go after it. He swung too far, but the ball's in the dirt. Good job by Gillette just to keep it in front of him.
Scored a wild pitch on the swinging strike. Bryant at third with 2 men out. Count is 0-2 on David Tollison. Tollison had been hitting 7th in the order in recent games, moved up to 5th with a left-hander on the mound. Fastball on the ground. Kagan gets over. Abbott gets over to cover. It's thrown away. One scores on the error. Kagan tried to lead Abbott, but led him too far. And a little too high, I believe.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest plays for a second baseman, is to hit the pitcher who's on the move to first base. Abbott did a great job of getting over there, and as you mentioned, Gagnon just led him a little bit too far.
And I think that's another indication of a team that hasn't played that much, Joe.
I agree with you. One of the things that you do in spring training is over and over is get the pitcher covering the bag. It's a ground ball in the hole. It's a nice play by Gagnon, as you see. Makes a nice play, takes his time, sets up. He just lets it go a little too high and too hard.
Tollison remains at first. Texas with 2 runs in, and Mike Patrick, the DH, steps in. Fastball, a strike. Patrick hitting .412. He's been outstanding. An academic All-American candidate with a 3.4 grade average. Good line drive hitter to all fields. Breaking pitch up high. Abbott got the first 2. Then the walk to Cesarek got him in trouble.
Well, walks usually haunt you, as they say in the major leagues, and it came back to haunt him here, especially with 2 outs.
Fastball down low. 2-1 on Mike Patrick. Bottom half of the first inning. Texas with 2 runs in, leading 2-0.
You see a 17-5 career record in Michigan.
And fastball is low again. And Bud Middaugh, the head coach Takes a run out to the mound. Try to settle down his left-hander.
I was wondering if the pitching coach or someone was going to come out and talk to Abbott, because he got the first 2 hitters out, as you mentioned. Now he struggled a little bit. I think you need to go out, calm him down, let him say, hey, this is the first ball game of the season. No one's hurt. We'll go from here.
But Middaugh likes to handle the pitchers himself, though he was a shortstop at Miami of Ohio. Strong wind blowing here in Austin on a very cool night. Temperatures in the 50s and heading down. Count is 3-1 on Mike Patrick. Runner at first with 2 men out. Tollison didn't have a big lead. That pitch is over. Count is full.
It's a good fastball there. One of the things I noticed is he dropped down and threw sidearm to Cesaric. Ever since that pitch, he seemed not to have his good stuff. He did not get back up on top until that previous pitch, the 3-1 pitch. There he's on top again.
That fastball swung on late and fouled back in the crowd.
One of the things I do not like is for a pitcher to drop down just to try to scare the hitter, because it doesn't happen a lot. There you see him on top. That's where he belongs. He has his best stuff from up on top.
See that what we saw before, him moving the ball in his hands, I imagine to confuse the coaches rather than have them pick up what he's throwing.
Well, you're not really supposed to do that, but I think he's just doing it to get the feel of the ball rather than trying to confuse the coaches.
On the ground hard to third, knocked down and mishandled by Finken. Everybody safe. Tollison at second, Patrick at first. Another error for Michigan.
Well, one of the toughest plays for an infielder is a ball hit directly at you, so that you do not come up on it. Sometimes he came up on the pitch, on the ground ball. That's what hurt him.
I want to correct myself. That's the first error. The play in which the runner at first was safe was awarded a base hit.
Well, they had an error on the scoreboard before.
Well, they changed it, and there's 2 hits on the board.
Right.
So they gave Tollison a single. Here's Eddie Toledo, junior college transfer. He too went to Seminole Junior College, where he drove in 103 runs last season at 20 home runs. I'm trying to get him to get loose at the plate, start pulling the trigger. He's been taking too many pitches. Big first baseman with good power. 2 on, 2 out. This all started with 2 out. The fastball misses. Gillette has trouble with it and regains control. A walk, a double, the infield single by Tollison. There's a wild pitch in there. And now the error by Finken. Runners at first and second, 2 runs in, 2 men on.
One of the things that Bud Middaugh said was he was only going to let Jim Abbott throw about 90 to 95 pitches.
And what started out as a pretty easy inning has turned into a long inning for Jim Abbott.
Yes, it has. And he's already up to 31 pitches, so we don't know how much longer he's going to let Jim Abbott go in this ball game.
I mentioned earlier, Michigan working out in their field house. They can do everything but hit fly balls there. But it's still not the same as the live competition, and this is only their 3rd game. They will play 10 games on the spring trip, then go back home and meet Northwestern to start the Big Ten Conference.
Nothing takes the place of a live ball game. You can practice all you want, but you have to get in competition because your adrenaline flows differently.
Hit in the air, deep right center. McMurtry going over, and that ball is dropped by the right fielder Brock. He couldn't handle it. 1 run is in. Around third is Patrick heading for the plate, and he scores. And it's 4-0 Texas. Brock, the right fielder, dove for it and couldn't handle it. So Texas jumping all over Jim Abbott with 2 men out. 4 runs in. You saw McMurtry. There's the right fielder. He had it for a moment, but hit the heel of his glove and it dropped out.
That's a tough play because he when he made the dive, he actually twisted his elbow to try to cuddle the ball in. It hit, and as soon as he hits his body hit the ground, the ball popped out.
It's a hit, a double for Eddie Toledo, 2 RBIs, and Texas with 4 runs in, and on 3 hits, and 2 of those hits could have been outs.
Right. And he should be out of the inning, as we mentioned earlier, because of the errors.
And Johnson takes the strike. Johnson, an excellent receiver, strong arm, and an excellent prospect. Just hasn't been hitting the ball consistently. Hitting at 276 coming into tonight's game. Breaking pitch hit hard, deep left center field. That'll go 1 bounce to the wall. Toledo scores, and Johnson goes into second with a stand-up double. It's 5-0 Texas. Joe Abbott has been missing with a fastball, and his curve has been hittable.
Well, I think one of the problems that happens, and not making any excuses for Jim Abbott, but when you're pitching in an inning, especially the first inning, and you get out of trouble, you think, as we take another look at the pitch here, it's a breaking ball, as you mentioned it, and it really is not a bad breaking ball. It's not hanging, but they're able to time it and hit it. 2 things happen on the breaking ball. They fool you with the speed and the break, and they're not fooling anyone with the speed. But what happens is you get a little tired mentally in that first inning because you haven't been under the competition guns for so long, and you have to stay out there so long. All of a sudden you lose your edge, you lose your concentration, and I think that's a little bit of what has happened to him here. He should have been out of the inning earlier, and I think he would have pitched a fine ball game, but now he has to make up for a couple of miscues, and he's not able to do it right now.
This is Craig Newkirk. They batted around. Number 9 man in the order, Craig Newkirk. Swings and misses, count is 0-2. Newkirk, a good fielding third baseman, has struggled at the plate. We would like to get him hitting consistently, and he'd take over at third, but he hasn't done that. He's back in the lineup now with a left-hander on the mound. 0-2. Got him. Threw the fastball by him. So Jim Abbott got the first 2, and then Texas sent 7 straight men to the plate who reached base safely. They score 5 runs, and at the end of 1 here in Austin, the Longhorns lead it 5-0.
The first inning for the Michigan Wolverines was on a throwout at second base. Finken is the runner. He's still second, and he has a base stolen. But as you see, Steve Bethea stays with him, and he comes off the bag, and he's tagged out for the 3rd out to end the first inning.
That was a long time ago.
Right. The interesting thing there, even though he made it to the bag and he overslid the bag, he does not get credit for a stolen base, even though he was safe the first time.
While the Texas bats were alive and scoring the 5 runs, Eric Stone stepped out of the dugout and threw some pitches along the sideline to get his arm loose. A very cool night. This is Phil Price. He was at bat when Finken was out to end the top half of the first inning. The top of the second, Phil Price, hard-hitting sophomore who led Michigan last season in hitting and home runs. Hit .387 and 67 hits last year on the outside corner.
The thing that I'm impressed with watching Eric Stone is that he keeps the ball down consistently well. His breaking ball is down and the fastball is down.
Texas rebuilding the pitching staff this season, and Eric Stone right in the heart of it. We've got a fine young freshman in Dressendorfer who's pitched well, and Curry Harden, who was supposed to be their stopper out of the bullpen, has turned into a real good starter. He pitched a 5-hitter yesterday in the victory over Oklahoma. Complete game. Stone missed out being on ESPN's national TV game against Miami. He pitched the night before our game down there. and was the winner in an 8-5 Texas win. But he did make it on. We found out he made it on. Price strikes out on the high fastball. The Maniac had him on as one of his groups, in his singing groups. Look at this pitch.
If you have a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or high 80s, you can throw the high fastball with 2 strikes and strike the guy out. Normally, Stone keeps the ball down, but when he gets ahead of the hitter and he wants to turn the good fastball loose, he can do that up high, and the hitter can't catch up with it.
This is Bill St. Peter, shortstop. Led the team in game-winning RBIs last season with 9. St. Peter can play second base, shortstop, third base. They moved him to shortstop because they feel he has a little better range than Steve Finken. That pitch off the glove of Brian Johnson. Count is 2-1. Checking the gun on Eric Stone. Pitch misses outside. Count is 3-1 on Bill St. Peter, the junior from Linwood, Michigan, who was third team All Big Ten last season. Good fastball, but just missed outside. Stone throwing hard tonight. St. Peter draws a walk with 1 man out. And the right fielder, Tom Brock, steps in. Brock's got some power. Tied for second on the team in home runs last season with 8. Hit a home run on Friday in Michigan's 7-3 win over Miami of Ohio. Michigan lost yesterday to Central Michigan. They didn't like that. Those Michigan teams have big rivalry. Hit high in the air. Short right center field. Brian Cesari calls for it. Wind blowing across and taking that ball towards right field.
And it's a very strong wind. I mean, the flags are coming straight in from the outfield, almost a little bit toward right, as you mentioned.
2 men out, and the second baseman, Chris Gagan. Gagan's got good speed. Hasn't hit for average. Didn't last season. 235. Played 49 games last season as a freshman. Strike 1. Texas got 3 hits in their 5-run 2-out rally in the bottom of the first. Michigan made 2 errors. Count is 1-1. On the ground to first, 1 hop to Toledo. Easy play for the first baseman. Sides retired. Michigan gets a walk, leaves a runner. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Texas with 5 in the first, leading it 5-0. Top of the order coming up for Texas. And has won a lot of awards, and well-deserved, and he's accomplished so much in his young career. Tremendous heart, tremendous determination.
And there's one award that I was involved in that he received, the United States Sports Academy's Award for Courage. What Abbott does is he tries to get the feel of the ball before he throws it. That's why you see him moving it around. He's trying to grab across the seams or with the seams. I can't tell how he throws it, but he wants to make sure he gets the right feel for the pitch that he's kind of trying to throw. If you grab the ball with the seams, you can get the ball to sink a little bit. If you grab it across the seams, it'll usually ride a little bit.
Texas batted around the first inning, so the shortstop and leadoff man Joel Gemelis leads off the second. He bounced to third. Abbott got the first 2 men out in the first inning, then walked Brian Cesaric. That started all the trouble. Scott Bryant had an RBI double with a runner going. A wild pitch moved him to third. An infield single by Tollison.
It's a good changeup. Excellent changeup. Sam, one of the thoughts that I have about Jim Abbott is that 90% of your Major League Baseball players have a handicap. Some can't run, some can't throw, some can't field. They said I was too short to play in the major leagues. I didn't feel I had a handicap. Jim Abbott does not feel like he has one. And I think that's what's going to take him as far as he goes in professional baseball.
Good fastball off the hands. Taken on a hop by Gagan, and he throws him out.
Nice play by Gagan.
Gagan's got good quickness at second base. Michigan's got several good infielders, a couple of young ones coming in also, freshmen, that can play. Here's Steve Bethea. He struck out in the first inning. And things look real smooth for Jim Abbott at that point.
But I think the real key to the problems he had in the first inning is the fact that this is an early season for Michigan. I mean, like I said, you get in trouble, and he'll know how to get out of trouble the next time. I don't think he'll have another shaky first inning like this the rest of the season. But at the beginning, a lot of things happen that you're not prepared for.
On the ground, just outside the first base line.
And all the inter-squad games, all the practice in the field house cannot prepare you for game action.
Steve Bethea spent his freshman year at Texas, and with no place to play him, he was kind of farmed out to Seminole Junior College last year. Spent last year learning to switch hit, and has come back and is the starting second baseman this year as a junior. Breaking ball stays up high.
I was sitting here thinking, remember we were talking about the poise and the way that Abbott stands on the mound. I'm been reminded now that really he reminds me of Tom Seaver, just the way he stands there and his first step backwards. And even his leg kick kind of reminds me a little bit of Tom Seaver. As I mentioned, he looks like a guy who has a lot of confidence in himself, and that was Tom Seaver, who knew he could throw the 90-mile-an-hour fastball by you. And that's the look that Jim Abbott gives you on the mound. He looks in like, hey, you can't hit me.
Count is 2-2 on Steve Bethea. His younger brother Scott is an infielder on the Texas squad. Breaking pitch stays up high. Now last inning, the breaking pitch, he got it down. Now he's up high with a breaking ball.
Well, what happens is on the breaking ball, you really have to snap your arm, speed up your arm. You have to snap it off and follow through, bend your back a little bit. And he threw that ball a little more straight up.
Fastball on the ground. Fair ball played by Hager. And the freshman makes the play. 2 men down. And again, Abbott gets the first 2. Let's see what happens here as they face Brian Cesarek again.
I guarantee he will get out of this inning. That's one of the things, like I say, a good pitcher will always learn. He knows the mistakes he made in the first inning. He will not let that happen again. He walks Cesarek. I guarantee you, he'll make Cesarek hit the ball this time. And all his problems started, as I mentioned, when he dropped sidearm on Cesarek in the first inning. There he goes again.
Yeah, it dropped down a little bit.
Yeah,
but
that
pitch over.
The one pitch doesn't matter. It's what you do with the next one. See, now he might want to get back up on top, and he wasn't throwing the ball on top after that pitch in the first inning. I still think he needs to stay up on top. He probably will here on the breaking ball.
Slow curve popped in the air. Shortstop Bill St. Peter makes the call. And a 1-2-3 inning. So Jim Abbott, no problems in the second. But Michigan a long way to come back. End of 2 at Disch-Falk Field in Austin, Texas. The Texas Longhorns leading Michigan 5-0. Jim Abbott with a strong second inning.
Have been rated outstanding by Collegiate Baseball. Pitching with Bud Middaugh and Infield Technique and Catching are 2 videos action-packed with skills and drills designed to improve performance. This 2-video set is available now in VHS or beta for only $65.95 or buy one for $35.95. Send check or money order to Baseball Coaching Series, Box 3740, Ann Arbor, Michigan 48106 at $3.50 for postage and handling.
Last year's Metro Conference champs, South Carolina, mount their drive to the NCAA Regionals as they face the Big Ten's Ohio State Buckeyes. College baseball, Saturday, live on the ESPN.
It's tournament time. The teams have been selected. The final 64 to play for the national championship, and we'll have 10 first-round games for you beginning Thursday here on ESPN at noon, and 5 more on Friday. Aloha. I said let's go to Hawaii.
Yeah,
Joe.
you did.
College baseball on ESPN, coming to you from Austin, Texas, and Greg McMurtry, outstanding athlete from Brockton, Massachusetts, home of a couple of great fighters, marvelous Marvin Hagler and the former late heavyweight champion of the world, Rocky Marciano. And this man was a great football player in Massachusetts and is a fine football player in Michigan. Fastball foul.
I watched him in batting practice. He can be a fine baseball player, too. I tell you, he's got a real quick bat, and he's got a good, strong position, you know, gets in good hitting position, and he's a strong hitter with a quick bat. That's an exceptional talent.
6'3", 200 pounds. Greg McMurtry, a sophomore, a wide receiver, the leading wide receiver on the Wolverines football team. Last year hit .299, but actually was coming on strong in the second half of the season when he got into the flow of baseball. Hit hard, deep center field. Cesarek going back, and he's there to make the catch.
That's right against the wind. I tell you, without the wind, I think that ball might have been up against the wall. He's got a real good swing. We'll take another look at it here. He's got a very quick bat. So he's in good hitting position right there. Nice swing. You talk about him coming on strong late last year is because of the football situation. They miss, because of football, you miss most of the spring practice.
There's Mike Gillette. He and Darren Campbell handle the catching chores for Michigan. 2 juniors. Campbell, a little more offense. Gillette, a little stronger defensive catcher. Good fastball, but just missed from Eric Stone. Gillette, what a record they have with him in the lineup in his Michigan career. 53-5.
Yeah, not too bad.
Last year, 32-4. Pitch misses, 3-0. Stone has walked 1, given up a first inning single, and owns a 5-0 lead. Cliff Gustafson's concern about his right-hander is that sometimes he'll lose some concentration, make a couple of bad pitches, get himself in trouble.
Well, that's what he meant by he's kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He's either real great or real bad, no in between.
On the ground at short, Chamelis with a backhander. Good throw. Chamelis planted himself very well and made the play.
He has a very accurate arm from the hole and very strong. He strung that ball across the infield very nicely there.
Back to the top of the order for Eddie Woolwine. Late insert into the lineup. The regular left fielder and regular leadoff man is Jim Durham, who's a speedster and will set the all-time career base stealing record at Michigan. He's out of the lineup with a slight hamstring pull. It's early in the season. They were concerned that he might really tear it up. And Stone misses outside.
And all of a sudden, he's fallen behind the 2 hitters in a row here.
Seemed to overthrow that last pitch. See a little Rick Sutcliffe in his motion?
Well, he has a little funny arm motion behind his back, but Rich Sutcliffe is really pronounced. We'll get a look at it here.
Missed. 3-1. 2 men out, top of the 3rd. Texas leading 5-0, and the catcher Brian Johnson has a chat with Eric Stone. Just reminding him to take it easy.
Most pitchers will extend their arm completely down, almost straight, before they start their motion. Rick Sutcliffe twists his a little bit, and he gets it in a little funny position. Also, Eric Stone kind of short arms the ball a little bit, right there.
Hit hard, right at the second baseman, Bethay. Sides retired 1, 2, 3. We played 2.5. here at Disch-Falk Field in Austin, Texas. And the Longhorns, with a 5-run first, have the big 5-run lead. Heart of the order due up for Texas in the bottom half of the third. Eric Stone gets a 1-2-3 with a hard stuff. Great baseball coaches here, and when Cliff Gustafson retires, they may have to change the name of the stadium, Joe.
Right. Disch-Falk Gustafson.
Billy Disch, 465 wins. Bib Falk and Cliff Gustafson since 1968.
He's quite a story. He's interesting to talk to. I think he's a very good baseball coach. He doesn't take himself too seriously sometimes, and I think that's very good.
And he was honored prior to tonight's ball game for having reached the 1,000 milestone mark. They gave him a plaque, they gave him a check, and they gave him a pickup truck, which he likes best.
Right.
Go to the bottom half of the third inning. And here's Scott Bryant. With a runner going with 2 men out, Bryant lined a double in the left center to drive in a run. It got the Longhorns going in their 5-run first inning. Texas 24-5. And they were 2-3 early. They lost. They were swept in an early season series by Arizona State. 3 straight. Good fastball from Jim Abbott.
Another thing I'm impressed with from Abbott is he does have good control when he throws the ball over the, toward the corner. He doesn't get the ball in the middle of the plate. He's either on one corner or the other. And that's a quality that normally a left-hander does not have.
Slow curveball hit deep to left field. It may go. It does. It's gone. A home run for Scott Bryant. As he did in the first inning, Bryant went down and got that ball, Joe.
Yeah, he gets hurt again on the breaking ball. He has not been hurt consistently with his fastball, which is his best pitch. But the breaking ball has been getting him hurt tonight. He's gotten hurt with a hanging breaking ball, and even when they don't hang, they go down and get it. We'll get a look here. This is a breaking ball. There you see it's a breaking ball on the inside corner. And Scott Bryant drives it right out of here.
Third home run in his last 12 official at-bats for Scott Bryant as he starts to supply the power. Scott Bryant now, this season, has 18 extra base hits of his 30 base hits. That's good power from the cleanup man. 6-0 Texas. Sorry, Joe.
Here again, that's what they're looking for behind Brian Cesare.
Freshman David Tollison, the left fielder, steps in. Good fastball. It's missed inside.
It's kind of tough, to say to Abbott, you're getting hurt with your breaking ball, don't throw it anymore, throw your fastball. Because it is early in the season, he wants to perfect the breaking ball, and you need more than one pitch. So he's using his complete repertoire, I should say, of pitches.
All right. Hook 'em horn, says Scott. Having a good time in the Longhorns dugout. 3-0 to Tollison. And a good fastball.
One of the things he was doing to the first 2 hitters in the lineup, he was throwing an off-speed changeup, whether it be a curve or just a straight change, he was changing speeds. All of a sudden now he's using 2 pitches, a fastball and a curve.
He's got to be throwing upper 80s. He's still got good velocity. Three men now have 27 RBIs for Texas. That misses. Tollison, Patrick, and now Bryant with 2 RBIs tonight. So Tollison walks. That's the second walk given up by Jim Abbott. And Mike Patrick steps in against the left-hander. Patrick hit the ball hard to the third baseman, Finken, who couldn't handle it. It was an error. And again, opened the door. And Eddie Toledo followed with a 2-run double. Patrick takes a breaking pitch high.
Abbott's up to 58 pitches already. and we're only in the third inning.
And he threw it away on the pickoff move. It hit the first base umpire, but still Tollefson is able to get down to second base. So Abbott on the throw over, the ball hit the umpire, otherwise would have gone all the way back into foul territory. Still went far enough away. And don't forget the umpire is in play.
Here's a pickoff move. And I think he picks off the first base umpire as well.
Hager had no chance, and Tollefson moves down. Patrick squares around, takes a ball. It's now 2-0 on Mike Patrick. And again, Patrick squares. The breaking pitch is up high.
This surprises me a little bit in that Patrick has been swinging the bat so well that you would, try to make him bunt even when he's ahead of the pitcher 2-0. He was 11 for 20 coming into the ball game.
And he lost him. 2 straight walks after the home run. And most of Abbott's pitches have been high. And again, we'll get a visit to the mound. But Middaugh, the head coach, has the jacket on now. We have the coats on upstairs in our outdoor booth.
I just think Bud wants to make sure that Abbott feels okay, that he's not laboring out there.
Certainly he wants him to get the work in.
Right. I think that's what's important to him at this stage.
Texas leading 6-0 with runners at first and second and nobody out here in the bottom half of the third inning. Bud Middaugh, 8 seasons. This is 9th season at Michigan. He's won 6 Big Ten championships. Eddie Toledo. The ball to deep right center field. The right fielder Brock got close to and dropped on the dive. Ruled a 2-run double in the first inning. Squared around and took that pitch, so Texas looking to move him up.
I think they're trying to put 2 more runners in scoring position here, 1 more at least, by bunting over.
Hager is in on the turf in front of the bag at first. Michigan puts a play on. Third baseman is charging, and the fastball is taken for a strike. Finken, the third baseman, was charging, and St. Peter, the shortstop, was over to cover third. There's Finken. Now let's see what they do with 1-1. That time Toledo did not square, just took the pitch.
I think the Michigan defense fooled him.
This time he squares. Hits it up the middle. The shortstop, St. Peter, steps on the bag, throws to first high, off the glove of Hager, and a run will score. Tollefson comes in. Toledo goes down to second. So the freshman Hager, maybe a little bit nervous down at first base. He's had some problems over there.
Well, he looked like he stretched out a little too soon there, but actually I thought St. Peter had enough time that he should have made a better throw. We'll get a look here. He gets the big hop, runs over, takes the bag. Now he has plenty of time, as you see, and he throws a little high off the mark, but Hager still should have caught it. A normal first baseman would have not stretched out so soon.
So another run in. Michigan has now committed 4 errors. 2 here in this third inning. The wild throw by Abbott, and now the error here. Runner at second, 1 man out. 2 runs in for Texas. They now lead 7-0. And this is Brian Johnson, who doubled back in the first inning.
Michigan is making a lot of mistakes, but as we mentioned before, they're up against Texas, who has played 29 ball games. This is only Michigan's 3rd game.
Spring training for the Wolverines.
Yes.
Conference time is right around the corner. As we mentioned, Michigan will play 10 games down here in Texas before returning home to start conference play against Northwestern. Texas facing a tough Southwestern Conference battle. Texas A&M looks good. Arkansas always tough. Rice has been playing well. Count is 2-1 with one man out. But what was interesting in watching Jim Abbott, Joe, is not only the pitching and what he does with the glove and the way he handles it so effortlessly, the way he swung the bat and the way he threw a football and handles all of it. As you said, he doesn't think of himself as a handicapped person.
And
fastball misses. Third walk given up by Abbott in this inning.
he still seems to be throwing hard. He just seems to have lost the plate. But he gave up a home run to the first hitter, and sometimes that'll make you lose the plate.
And here's the number 9 man in the order, Craig Newkirk, who struck out his first time up to end the big first inning for Texas. Longhorns with 5 in the first, 2 here in the second. 1 man out, and runners at first and second. Up the middle, Abbott's got it. Look at that reaction. Makes the play to third. Try for the double play, not in time. So Abbott got the force at third.
I'm a little surprised that he didn't go to second with it. That's the normal way to make the double play on the ground ball back to the pitcher. We'll get another look at it here. Well, he actually throws to third, I guess, because that's the easiest place to throw for a left-hander in that position.
Can he handle the position? Can he field? That was a good chance.
Well, he made a good play, but I still think he should have gone to second. I'd like to know why he really didn't. But he was in better position to throw to third, but you have to turn, whirl all the way around and throw to second base on that play.
And again, you know, we can overstate it, but the point is that this is early in the season for Michigan with more work on that play, the comebacker. Maybe later on in the season he wheels around and goes for 2.
Right. Because it's much easier to go from second to first for the double play than it is from third to first because of the long throw.
Back to the top of the order for Texas, Joel Chimelis, the shortstop, is in.
You see
74 pitches.
And we're only in the third inning.
2 men out, runners at first and second for Texas. Chimelis up for his 3rd time in the ball game. And he's 0 for 2. Came into the game hitting .381. Junior college transfer Joel Chimelis. Off-speed pitch, fouled off, had him way out in front.
He hasn't been using that much since the first inning, and I'd like to know why, because it was very effective in the first inning.
Jim Abbott comes down, wants to talk to his roomie and battery mate, Mike Gillette. Abbott, when he was put on the USA team by Coach Ron Fraser, the Pan Am team, Ron Fraser said, well, I thought it'd be interesting to put him on, give him a shot, and he just won everybody over. He just turned out to be the top pitcher on the squad. It was simply outstanding. Fastball. Called him out on strikes. A pitcher's call from the home plate umpire. And Texas scores 2, leaves 2 men on. But the Longhorns have opened up a huge lead on Michigan. A couple of errors hurt. Scott Bryant also hit one out of the ballpark. Texas 7, Michigan nothing.
Monday night, 27 sports legends, including football's Dick Butkus and basketball's Bob Cousy, hit the links in the Hall of Fame Classic. Monday night on ESPN.
We're live at Disch-Falk Field in Austin, Texas, home of the Texas Longhorns, ranked 3rd in the nation and leading Michigan 7-0 as we go to the top of the 4th. And here in Texas, there are nice tuxes. Nice outfits to go to the ballpark in, huh? Hi, guys. Having a good time.
Eric Stone has only allowed Michigan 1 base hit so far in the ball game.
He's thrown hard. He's had long delays and has come out of the dugout to warm up in between innings. Here's Steve Finken. Third baseman steps in for the second time. Started off the season with a bang. Home runs his first 2 times up against Miami of Ohio on Friday. Slider gets over.
Eric Stone has been very impressive. Not only has he allowed them only 1 hit, he's only walked 1 hitter. And he stayed out in front most of the time.
Ahead 0-2 on Finken. Missed outside. Finken was the all Big Ten second baseman last season. Playing third base tonight. Played shortstop the other night. Hit .358 2 years ago. Last year dropped to .278. Chopper to short. Rather to third, excuse me. And no chance for Newkirk. It's a base hit.
That was an excellent pitch by Eric Stone. It was out of the strike zone. Breaking ball going down in the dirt. And Finken hit the top of it. And as you see, Newkirk charges in. He only has 1 play, and that's to be able to barehand it and make the throw on the run. If he catches it with his glove and takes time to get it out, he would not have had a chance to get Finken at first base.
Leadoff man on for Michigan. Wolverines' second hit of the ball game. Freshman Greg Hager steps in. Fastball fouled off the end of the bat. Hager started at Catholic Central High School in Redford, Michigan, where he was a pitcher and a first baseman. Played on the football team where he was a quarterback and defensive back. A little bit of everything. Seems like there are a lot of football and baseball men at Michigan.
Yes, 2 sport people. Well, that's tough to do. I think those guys need to really be patted on the back for trying to play 2 major college sports.
Murtry, great athlete. Hager here is only playing baseball. But you never know. Gillette, I forgot to mention, Gillette is the place kicker.
Right.
On the Michigan team.
Holds the record for field goals for Michigan.
Count is 1-1 on Greg Hager. Pitch outside. Hager played at the Olympic Festival in Colorado Springs and then went on to play for the junior national team, which played in international competition. That pitch is up high. So Stone behind 3-1.
Hager's the only guy coming to bat tonight without batting gloves in this chilly evening air.
Fouls it back. That's a rare sight, Joe. Seems like everybody wears at least one.
Very few guys hit without batting gloves. Only Keith Hernandez comes to mind for me. No matter how cold it is, he hits without batting gloves. I didn't like batting gloves either because I like to feel the bat. I felt like I had quicker hands without the gloves on. It's more psychological than anything. A lot of guys feel they get a better grip on the bat with a glove.
Stone comes back and strikes him out. Hager foul tipped it. The catcher held on. 1 man out.
This throws a good fastball right by him. Watch, you'll see the movement on this pitch. See how it starts in and moves outside? Good movement.
Eric Stone, after his 7th win of the season, picks up the strikeout. 1 man out, and Phil Price, designated hitter, steps in. Runner goes. Throw by Johnson is low, and he's got the base stolen. This time time they hold on to the base at second.
He pulls it out of the ground, in fact.
Last time, Finken overslid the bag and was tagged out.
And we'll get a look at it here. He actually pulls the bag out of the ground because he overslides again. Watch. There it is. We'll see. He gets an excellent jump there. And it's a straight steal, as you can see. He does not look at the plate to see if the hitter swings at the pitch or not. He slides a little late. And there he has to pull the bag out of the ground to stay on.
Last time that happened as well, and his hand slipped off.
Right.
Now they're going to try and work on the hole at second base, try and keep the bag in place. Metal fixture there. All right, ball for the grounds crew. Texas leading 7-0.
We'll take another look. As you see, Finken is starting toward second base before Stone actually delivers to the plate. And he has it stolen easily, but he almost overslides again. That's one of the dangers of sliding head first to the outside. If you go head first straight in, usually if you slide too hard or too fast, your body will stay on the bag.
Always get great attendance here for games, college baseball. Last season, Mississippi State, and they've got great fans down there in Starkville, led the nation in average attendance for college baseball. Texas was second, Hawaii third, Fresno State will be out there later this season, and Oklahoma State will see the Cowboys against Texas A&M 2 weeks from tomorrow night. Oklahoma State at Texas A&M. Slider stays inside. On Price, count is 2-0. For Finken, that was his 41st career stolen base. He's one behind Jim Durham, who's not playing tonight. That's over for a strike.
And he's actually only 3 behind Barry Larkin's all-time record in Michigan. Barry Larkin, of course, the shortstop with the Cincinnati Reds now.
Durham had 38 stolen bases last season, not in the lineup tonight. He's got a slight hamstring pull. That misses low and away, and the count is 3-1. So it went 3-1, excuse me, Joe. He went 3-1 on the previous batter. Hager came back to strike him out. Now he's 3-1 again on Price, starting to throw a lot of pitches.
Well, he seems to be struggling a little bit going into that phase that Coach Gustafson was talking about. He loses his concentration.
That's a good fastball.
Right.
Stone's got a strong arm. Just missed. Stone wanted it.
That's a good fastball, too.
Price goes down to first with a walk.
Take a look at this. It's a real good fastball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. He fires. I think the umpire was correct. A little low.
So here is Bill St. Peter, who walked his first time up. 2 men on for Michigan. For the first time in the ball game, only 1 out. And a good fastball again. Bill St. Peter, who's outstanding in postseason play last year, with 11 hits, 6 in the Big Ten tournament, and 5 in the NCAA regional. Good fastball. And he's ahead 0-2, so Stone has bounced back. Two on, 1 man out. And misses outside. Pretty good pitch at 0-2.
A very good pitch. Good slider. A lot of times you'll see a hitter chase that pitch, especially when he's behind the count 0-2.
Finken at second, Price at first. Popped in the air, short right field. Toledo, the first baseman, going out, having trouble, and drops the ball. The wind carried it into foul territory. And twisting away, carried it too far for the second baseman to go over and get it.
Now we take a look here. Toledo thinks he has it. Now he sees that the wind pushes it over into foul territory, and he chases it, tries to make an over-the-shoulder catch. Actually hits in his glove. And as big as those first baseman's gloves are, I don't see how he can come out.
Junior Eddie Toledo had a double in the ball game. As Chris Berman would say, Eddie Holy Toledo. Fastball on the inside corner. St. Peter is called out on strikes.
Kind of a delayed call, I think, from the umpire. We'll take another look at it here. Good fastball riding on the inside corner. Eric Stone knew it was a strike from the beginning.
St. Peter thought he was still up there. 2 men down. And now Tom Brock, the right fielder, steps in. It's a slider that misses. Texas leading 7-0. 7 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Michigan, no runs, 2 hits, 4 errors. 30th game of the season for Texas, only the 3rd for Michigan. Hit foul out of the ballpark. Changing the format in the Big Ten this year. They've gone back to 1 single division, and each team will play 7 others in the conference. 2 weekend doubleheaders, so they'll play 28 conference games.
It's kind of like the format in the Pac-10. They play 30 games in the conference.
Brock fouls it back. Michigan flew in last night to Austin from Edinburgh, where they'll return to play in the Citrus Tournament. St. John's in that tournament. Pan American. On the ground to third. Newkirk takes the high hop. Good throw. Sides retired. Michigan gets 2 runners on an infield single and a walk. Eric Stone works out of it with a strikeout and a ground out. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning in Austin, Texas, where the Longhorns, playing some good defense, lead it 7-0. Championship in college basketball, and we'll have first-round games for you live beginning at noon Thursday and again on Friday. So stay with ESPN for first-round action in the NCAA college basketball tournament. Right here, we've got college baseball for you. And it's cold. This is not baseball weather. Hockey, maybe skiing, Joe.
Well, I was skiing. It was colder than this. I figured I was coming to some real warm weather here in Texas.
I was up in Landover, Maryland yesterday. It was 70 degrees.
Well, I was in Vail, Colorado. It was about 20, so...
That's good skiing weather. Well, they've got their ski caps out here, the blankets, and the jackets. And we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Number 2 man in the order, Steve Bethea, 0 for 2 in the ball game, facing Jim Abbott. First outing of the season has struggled. Texas scored 5 runs in the 1st inning with 2 men out.
And the help of a little shoddy defense.
That's good fastball. When things settle down for Michigan, they have a fine pitching staff. Have an outstanding right-handed senior Mike Ignashik, who pitched against Miami of Ohio on Friday. Went 5 innings. Hard-throwing right-hander.
And they also have Chris Lutz.
Yeah. Had a good year last year. Have a sophomore from Dallas, Texas, Mike Grimes, who was hoping he might get in the ball game tonight and may yet be seen. That fastball on the outside corner.
This Michigan team was 52-12 last year, and they only lost 2 players from that team. So they figure to be very tough as the season progresses.
Count is 2-2 on Steve Bethea. Good fastball in on the hands. Bethea's had trouble getting around on Abbott.
The only thing Abbott has not shown me tonight is that he can pitch inside. I think left-handers now, to be real effective, have to pitch inside and then go back outside. There you see only 2 earned runs of the 7. As we mentioned, a little shoddy defense so far by the Michigan team. But he needs to pitch inside, I think, a little more. He's able to hit the outside corner very well, but I think you have to come inside. See, most of the pitches are away. And you will be effective pitching away, but you have to keep them honest by coming inside every once in a while. And he's now up to 81 pitches, and as we said, Bud.
Pop foul behind the plate, and that'll go back on the screen.
As we mentioned, Bud Middaugh said that he would probably throw about 90 to 95 pitches.
Getting colder. It's 51 degrees, and the wind chill factor we don't know, but we'll find out. You don't take it until it gets under 50. Well, it's probably down below that. I guess there was a low of 38 here last night.
Good fastball.
Just a little low, but they gets a walk.
One of the other ways you judge a pitcher's fastball is how the velocity is when the ball is down low. Most pitchers can throw hard when they get the ball up high because of the release point. If you have to bend your back and drop the ball down low, that's when you gauge how fast the guy is actually throwing. That was a good fastball. To be able to throw the good low fastball is a quality that not a lot of pitchers have.
5 walks given up by Jim Abbott. And Slider gets over. The walk to Cesarek with 2 men out in the first inning got things going for Texas.
Even though he's given up 5 walks, it doesn't seem like he's wild because he's not missing by a lot. And that's due to not being sharp.
Breaking ball missed the outside corner. Cesarek at the plate has been moved around defensively. He's playing center field tonight. Had been playing a lot of first base when we last saw him. And Cliff Gustafson says if he's going to make it in the big leagues, he'll probably, he feels his best position would be left field. Runner goes. Pitch swung on and missed. The throw down by Gillette in time. Bethay is thrown out. Gillette to St. Peter covering. Throw a little bit high. St. Peter got the tag down quickly. Bethay doesn't have tremendous speed, so I got to believe that's a hit and run play on.
We'll get a look at it here. Well, Cesarek swings at a bad pitch, which would say that it was a hit and run. Throw is there in plenty of time. You see most of the base stealers now going in head first. Actually, head first is the quickest way to get to the bag because you can extend your arm, and when you feel the bag, you can break your fall.
Abbott takes the chopper. The underhand tosses in time. Again, he dropped down on that pitch, came sidearm against Cesarek, and made a good pitch on him.
One of the things that I would not do early in my career was slide head first, even into second, because it's very dangerous. The throw can hit you. The guy can go up in the air and come down on you. And, of course, you don't want to slide head first at the plate because of the shin guards and things like that. Pete Rose used to do it all the time, and it'd make me nervous. I would yell for him to slide, and he would come in head first, and every once in a while the catcher would be able to plant the shin guard in front of him, and they can block you off.
You saw that last week on that play at the plate in the game at Stanford.
Exactly.
Here's Scott Bryant. He is hurt. Jim Abbott with an RBI double in the first and then a solo homer in the third. He's hit the ball hard.
This will be a good barometer of what Jim Abbott can do and can't do to adjust to a hitter. The guys hit him hard twice, once off the slow curve, and we'll see how he pitches him. He's going with hard stuff this time. That looked like a slider or a cut fastball, even though I didn't know he threw one. But he looked like he was trying to get that ball inside.
Ryan came into the game hitting .337. Leads the team with 6 home runs. And pitches high, and it's 3-0. 2 men out, nobody on, and Abbott not giving Bryant anything good to hit. Walked him on 4 pitches.
I guess he was not going to let him hurt him anymore.
So, second walk in the inning issued by Jim Abbott.
And of the 6 walks, that's the first time that he wasn't even close with 4 pitches.
It's David Tollison, freshman left fielder, steps in to face Jim Abbott. Check swing foul into the Michigan dugout. And reaching that pitch total that we talked about, Abbott has now thrown 93.
So this may possibly be his last inning.
Texas leading 7-0. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Breaking ball missed. He's not had good command of the breaking pitch.
And when he has gotten it over the plate, they've hit it pretty hard.
Fastball hit hard down the left field line. A base hit. Woolwine cuts it off, and it's a double for David Tollison. Bryant holds at third. Tollison ripping it. They had Tollison shaded into left center. Hit it hard.
Hands back, good extension, drives the ball down the left field line. That was a good swing.
Bud Middaugh making another trip to the mound. Texas with runners at second and third with 2 men out. I don't think Bud wants another 5-run inning. We're going to have a pitching change. That's it for Jim Abbott. With 2 men out in the bottom of the 4th, he leads. With Texas leading 7-0, he leaves.
It takes quick hands.
Right-hander from Dallas, Texas, does make it into the ball game. Record of 6-0 last season.
A lot of people felt that Michigan had the best pitching staff in college baseball last year.
They got knocked out of that Northeast Regional. They went up against Mike Remlinger in the first round. Remlinger, first-round draft pick of the San Francisco Giants, and he shut them out 4-0. Then they came back. Abbott won 10-0. They went up against Georgia, had a 5-0 lead. Georgia came back and won that game 10-8. Nashik took the loss in that one. Chris Carpenter, the first-round draft pick of the Cardinals, got the win. And Georgia went on to the College World Series.
Well, they were beaten by 2 All-Americans.
Pretty good.
2 excellent pitchers.
Young Mike Grimes, a sophomore.
Take a look at Grimes here. He has a little more orthodox motion than Eric Stone. He extends his arm down and extends out to the plate. As I mentioned, Eric Stone kind of short arms the ball, or he appears to. Grimes seems to get his body and arm in good position.
4 doubles and a home run for the Longhorns in the ball game, leading 7-0. So the walk to Bryant got Abbott in trouble again. The double by Tollison, and that was enough pitches. So the right-hander will face the left-hander Patrick, the DH, the leading hitter on the Texas Ball Club. Good fastball from Mike Grimes.
Has good movement on the fastball. Fastball tails away from the left-handed hitter. That one started inside and came back on the inside corner.
It's a breaking pitch inside. Count is 1-1.
It's a pitch you don't see a lot of anymore. The good overhand curveball with the big break. Most pitchers have gone to the slider, which is kind of in between the curveball and a cut fastball.
There's a good curveball. Count is 1-2.
In fact, you see, sorry, Sam. In fact, you see a lot of pitchers throwing the split finger fastball, which is a pitch of the 80s.
We're talking to Cliff Gustafson. We asked about one of his pitchers, asked if he threw a split finger fastball. He said no. And the eyes open wide. 2 hops to the shortstop, St. Peter. Throws low. Hager's got it. The side's retired. So the Longhorns threaten with 2 men out. but the sophomore Mike Grimes comes in to shut the door before there's any further damage. 4 innings complete here in Austin, Texas. Texas leading Michigan 7-0. Jim Abbott is through for the night.
Hi, I'm Camille Noor, and next time on American Muscle Magazine, we'll go to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Professional World Bodybuilding Championships, where the greatest bodies in the sport came out for the first big pro event of the year. Don't miss the action.
We're in the capital city of the Lone Star State, and that's the Capitol building here in Austin, Texas. And some Hardy fans are hanging in there. They love ESPN and college baseball and their Longhorns. Started out as a real good crowd. Would have been close to a sellout here. And again, the weather is a major factor. Texas with the lead, and a lot of fans have left because of that. Temperatures dipping under 50 degrees now as we go to the 5th inning, and junior right-hander Eric Stone, he's according to form. 4 strikeouts in 4 innings, a couple of walks. He's allowed only 2 hits, one of them an infield single.
And he's been great. He's been in control. He's been out front of most of the hitters. He's done a great job.
Second baseman Chris Gagan leading off the 5th inning for Michigan. 71 pitches. Like to cut down some of those balls. It's a little high there. That's one thing that concerns Cliff Gustafson, is Stone has a tendency to pitch from behind on the count. Good fastball hit high and deep to right field. The wind gets hold of it. Bryant moves over and makes the catch. They've been working on Bryant's defense in right field, and he's been getting better. Doesn't have tremendous range, but right now they just want him to make the routine play, and he's been doing that. Here's Greg McMurtry. Joe told you he looks like a great ball player. Red Sox thought so out of high school. They drafted him in the 1st round. Came to Michigan on a football scholarship. Fine wide receiver of the Wolverines, just a sophomore. A fine center fielder on this team. Takes a strike, count 1-1. They say that McMurtry runs better, Joe, from 1st to 3rd than he does from home to 1st.
Well, that's because he's tall, and it takes him a little while to get his strides going. Another guy like that I used to watch, and he reminds me of, is Willie Davis. He kind of looks a little bit like Willie Davis. Kind of tall, wiry. Willie Davis could go from 1st to 3rd in about 3 steps.
McMurtry was strong late in the season, the NCAA tournament, and the Big Ten Conference tournament.
Watch his front foot. He turns a toe out. He starts with it in. He just swings and misses. It keeps his weight back pretty well there, but he turns his right toe in, try to keep his body in.
2-2. Good fastball. Struck him out looking. 5th strikeout for Eric Stone, and he's still throwing hard.
We'll get a look at it here. It's a good fastball from Stone. Starts on the inside actually, and breaks on the inside corner for strike 3. I think it really fooled McMurtry.
Here's the catcher, Mike Gillette, the place kicker on the football team. So we have the wide receiver batting 8th and the place kicker batting 9th. And Bo Schembechler says that if this guy concentrated on it, he could be a good quarterback. Right now he's concentrating on catching.
Right.
Count is 2-0. 2 men out, top of the 5th. Michigan 2 hits in the ball game.
I guess it's a tough decision for a good football player to make. You know, especially most kids love baseball, but they also enjoy playing football. It's a tough decision to make.
Talk about thrills. Gillette threw a 2-point conversion in the Rose Bowl 2 years ago against Arizona State. That's not bad.
No, not with 102,000 in the Rose Bowl and millions of others watching around the country. Around the world, I guess.
3-1. Texas Longhorns lost 3 straight early in the season to Arizona State. Lost 1 game at Miami in that 2-game weekend series. One game we had for you on ESPN. Miami winning in the bottom of the 9th, 3-2. And then lost 1 game of a 3-game series to Pepperdine. And that's it. Hit in the air, right field. Slicing into foul territory. Bryant trying to stay with it, and it hits the fence. Tough ball to handle, and again, that's the wind just pulling that ball away from Scott Bryant.
We got another look at how strong it's actually blowing. That ball started about 30 feet fair. It just blew all the way against the fence. There's the flag. Texas.
Count is full on the catcher, Mike Gillette. Just a junior. On the ground is short. Joel Chamelis with a high hop and the good throw. And a strong arm at shortstop. 1-2-3 inning for Eric Stone. He's allowed only 2 hits. He struck out 5. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning with Texas leading Michigan 7-0 and playing flawless defense. The shortstop with a strong arm. Their sport, and we've got the Players Championship for you. March 24th and 25th, the first 2 rounds live here on ESPN, beginning on Thursday, March 24th at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 1 Pacific. Go to the bottom half of the 5th inning in chilly Austin, Texas, with the Longhorns playing hot baseball and leading 7-0. Looking for their 25th win of the season as they get to the midway point of the season.
Right.
Michigan just starting out their 3rd game. Here's Eddie Toledo. Eddie Toledo did not join the Texas Longhorns until January because his grades weren't good enough. And when he arrived, it's been an adjustment period for him. And they're hoping that he will be one of their big hitters later on in the season. Showed great power at Seminole Junior College last year. 20 home runs, 103 RBIs. Mike Grimes puts the breaking ball over.
Grimes seems to rely on his curveball a lot, which is a good one.
Good pitch on the hands. Finken wide of 3rd. Throw is low and away from Hager. The catcher, good hustle by the catcher, Gillette, backing up. And Toledo has to hold on first. There's an excellent play by the catcher, backing up.
Right. It's good hustle.
Now Finken ranges here, but throws it wild. That's a bad throw.
Right. He's thrown the ball a couple of times very low at first base. The other time, Hager was able to dig it out.
Now, part of that problem could be moving him around. He did play shortstop in the previous game. Now he's moved to 3rd base. Different throw.
That's a completely different throw. Everything from the shortstop is coming in, and you're facing the first base back. He was going a little bit to his left then.
Breaking pitch is high to Brian Johnson, the catcher, and number 8 hitter. 5th error in the ball game for Michigan. And again, you study in contrast of the 2 teams. Texas has been flawless in the field, been very sharp, and Michigan has been very erratic. And that pitch breaks off the catcher's glove, goes back to the screen. Toledo moves down to 2nd. That one be ruled a pass ball. Pitch that the catcher, Gillette, should have handled.
We'll get another look at the pitch here. Gillette is set up outside, and the ball comes back on the inside. That's a little bit of the reason why he missed it, but he should have been able to adjust to it.
Count is 2-0 on Brian Johnson, whose father is in attendance tonight here at the ballpark, and he stopped by to say hello. Good fastball by Mike Grimes, and that's great news. You watched our telecast of the Texas-Miami game. You may have heard us mention that his father was in the hospital recovering from cancer surgery, and all signs are good. And Jerry Johnson was here tonight to say hello. Looks good. certainly has to help the mental state of Brian Johnson.
I think it changes his mental state completely. When you're worried about something and trying to play baseball, it's almost impossible. And I think it also points out that baseball is just a game, and there are more important things in life than whether you can get a base hit or not.
That's right. Fastball hit hard to right field, in there for a base hit. Toledo held up to make sure it would drop in. Only goes to third. Second hit for Brian Johnson as he gets his bat going.
Here's the swing. It's a nice swing. Goes with the pitch very well. Tom Brock took a little time to get the ball back in. Once you get, as an outfielder, once the ball gets to you and there's a runner on base, throw the ball someplace. Get it back toward the infield. He double cocked out there a couple of times.
I think he may have been surprised that Toledo had held up. He wasn't sure which way to go. Craig Newkirk, number 9 man in the order, 0 for 2. Facing the right-hander, stays in the ball game. Breaking pitch by Grimes is over. Jim Abbott went 4 2/3 innings. Excuse me, 3 2/3 innings. We're in the bottom half of the 5th. Texas runners at first and third, nobody out. Curveball hit hard up the middle. McMurtry coming on, got a late jump, takes it on a hop. RBI single for Craig Newkirk. Texas leads 8-0.
Newkirk has been a very good hitter for Texas a couple of years ago, and he slumped at the end of last year, and he hadn't been able to get it back. Actually, he drives this ball to center field, but he's still a little behind that pitch, and that was a breaking ball. He still did not have the bat out. He was kind of crowding himself a little bit with the swing.
Back to the top of the order. 7 hits in the ball game for Texas, 8 runs. Longhorns leading 8-0.
Chamelis has had a lot of problems in this ball game.
Lays down a bunt. Grimes, quick throw to third in time for the force. Bunted a little too hard and a little too close to the pitcher. Didn't make him come down off the mound far enough.
Actually, he bunted it to the pitcher. He should have been bunting that ball to the third baseman. Hard like he did, but down the third base line. The play is to make the third baseman feel the ball, and you see he bunts it where the pitcher has a chance to get it. And Grimes makes a good play.
Almost snuck up his arm.
Right, gets the force out at third.
1 man down, and Steve Bethay will turn around and hit left-handed. He walked in 3 trips. Bethay has hit harder left-handed. This is only his 2nd year of hitting left-handed. Began switch hitting at Seminole Junior College last year. Texas with 3 Seminole Junior College products in the lineup tonight. Eric Stone on the mound, Eddie Toledo at first, and Steve Bethay at second. The Seminole Junior College team played for the Junior College National Championship last year, lost to San Jacinto. Wind really picking up now. 1 man out, bottom half of the 5th inning. Fastball misses up high. Sophomore right-hander Mike Grimes made 12 appearances last year, 8 starts. Whew. You can see that.
That's a tough win.
He lost him on 4 straight. Bethay walks, loading the bases. First walk given up by Grimes, but Middaugh makes a trip to the umpires. Let's see if he makes some kind of switch here. He's out to talk to Grimes. We may see Hager come in to pitch. Hager, I don't know, started to walk toward the mound. Hager is a pitcher and first baseman, but he hasn't warmed up at all. Let's see. No?
I think he went to the umpire first because he wanted to make sure that Grimes was okay physically.
All right.
So he wouldn't be charged for a visit to the mound.
I thought for a minute he was going to make a switch and bring in Hager.
I'm sure he has a lot of pitchers that need work before he gets to Hager.
Bases loaded, one man out for Texas. A run in here in the bottom half of the fifth, and Brian Cesarek steps in. Cesarek's gotten a walk and has been bottled up 2 other times, but facing the right-hander for the first time, fouls it back. Craig Newkirk, the runner at third. Joel Chamelis, the runner at second. And Steve Bethea at first. One man out.
We saw an example there of what Coach Gustafson was talking about with Cesarek. He went out of the strike zone. That was the ball. And he sometimes does not wait and get a good pitch to hit. Because they pitch around him so much, he tries to hit the first thing he sees.
Breaking pitch high and inside. Last year was the year you dream about for Brian Cesarek. He had .429, a single-season record for the University of Texas. Was outstanding in the College World Series. Came to the All-Tournament team. Hit hard, base hit to right field. Newkirk is in. Chamelis is being held at third as the throw comes into the cutoff man, Hager. RBI single for Brian Cesarek. Bases remain loaded. Texas leads 9-0. There's a big gap. Cesarek got around on it, found the hole.
It's a fastball from Grimes, high fastball. Watch him turn his hands over there. That's why he was able to pull the ball in the hole.
There's Scott Bryant, and he's had a good night with a double and a home run and a base on balls. And he's got the bases loaded for him right here. Bryant has been hot. He's over .340. He's had 3 home runs in his last 12 official at-bats. Infield looking for 2. Fastball hit in the air, short right field. Brock is there. He's got it. The runner at third tags and comes on to the score. Sacrifice fly for Scott Bryant. Chamelis scores. Bryant's third RBI of the ball game. Gives him 28 on the season, and Texas leads 10-0. Ball not hit too far, but Chamelis able to score. Big lead for the Longhorns as they are overmatching Michigan. Michigan in the infant stages of its season. It'll be interesting to see what happens if these 2 teams meet up in the playoffs or even in the College World Series.
I think you would see a different Michigan team. They made 5 errors in the ball game tonight, and I don't think they would do that later in the season. But it's only the 3rd ball game of the season. You still have a lot of jitters. You still are not under game conditions. You have not played in them.
Freshman David Tollison hit the ball hard his last time up. Got a double. 2 men out. Runners at first and second for Texas. 3 runs in here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Longhorns with a 10-0 lead. The middle of the order for Texas. 4, 5, and 6. Cesarek should be put in there. Number 3. A walk and a single. He scored a run and driven in a run. Tollison, here you look at Mike Grimes. Pitched 44 innings last season. Struck out 41. He throws hard. Jim Abbott started. The fans turned out here and gave him a standing ovation when he left after 3 2/3 innings. Appreciation of his winning the Sullivan Award. Good play by Gillette on that pitch in the dirt. An appreciation of who he is and the kind of courage he shows.
He had a good shot of Gillette making a good block Of about a 70-foot slider.
Count is full.
Good curve.
Slow curve. Called him out on strikes. Collison watched it break over. Quite a pitch on 3-2 from Grimes. And the side's retired, but Texas scores 3 more. They've scored in the first, third, and the fifth. Grimes ends it with a big breaking curveball, but Texas leads 10-0.
The upset of the week is brought
ESPN Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern Time when Ohio State visits South Carolina. Join us Saturday afternoon at 2 Eastern for college baseball on ESPN. Right here, Michigan. Game number 3 of their season. 5 errors. Just 2 hits, 1 an infield hit as we go to the top of the 6th. Eddie Woolwine, the left fielder and leadoff man. It's it in the air, foul out of the ballpark. There are Michigan fans here in Austin, Texas. Go blue, they say. Wolverines on their spring trip down to Texas. Played a couple of games in Edinburgh, where they will return tomorrow to play in the Citrus Tournament. Good pitch by Eric Stone.
And even though this is their only their third ball game, they have not had trouble scoring runs before. So I have to give the credit to Eric Stone for pitching a very fine ball game.
Stone has been strong. Walked only 2, struck out 5. Good breaking ball on the ground, wide at third. Newkirk's got it. Long throw in time. Good defense by the third baseman, Craig Newkirk. Good range. Cliff Gustafson wants him in the lineup.
Well, if he hits like he did, at the beginning of last year, he'll be a very good asset for the Longhorns because he is a good defensive third baseman.
Play. 1 man down here in the top of the 6th. And here's Steve Finken, the third baseman for Michigan. Fastball on the outside corner. Good pop. Hope Brian Johnson's got a sponge in the glove. Because that fastball's humming. It's a breaking pitch that misses. Finken hit .278 last year. Year before, hit .358. Showed some power last year with 8 home runs and has started off this season with a couple. Count is 1-2. Junior right-hander Eric Stone.
Actually, the weather, the conditions, nothing seems to be bothering Eric Stone tonight.
Really focused in. Slow curveball. Started to mix his speeds. First couple of innings, nothing but hard stuff. Last couple of innings, he's mixed in a couple of slow curveballs. Steve Finken at the plate is a senior with junior eligibility. He missed his freshman year because of a broken leg. In the dirt, count is 2-2.
Good fastball.
On the knees, on the outside corner. Can't get it better than that. 6 strikeouts for Eric Stone.
This has to be one of the hardest pitches he's thrown all evening. And perfect location, low and away.
Here's the freshman Greg Hager, first baseman. It's a breaking pitch over. Oh, missed. Excuse me. 2 men out here in the top half of the 6th inning. Fastball fouled off. Hager a little late on it. Hager comes to Michigan with outstanding credentials. In high school in his senior year, hit .387 with 5 home runs. Down the left field line, slicing foul.
Seems to be a little late on this college fastball.
He's a pretty good pitcher in high school. Helped lead his team to the state championship in Michigan. Went to Catholic Central High School in Redford, Michigan. 9-4 record. Struck out 144 in 74 innings. That's pretty good numbers.
Great numbers.
But right now, plans are to use him as a hitter, either as a DH or first baseman, maybe a little in the outfield. 2-2. High. Top half of the 6th inning. Texas 10, Michigan nothing.
Eric Stone seems to be working a little quicker. That would be a sign of more confidence. Usually a pitcher feels like he gets in the groove, he wants to get it and throw it.
I thought that's because we gave him the sign to move it along here.
Change up.
Little low. Hager draws a walk. 2 men out.
I think that's only the second changeup he's thrown all evening, and both of them were to Greg Hager.
Here's Phil Price, the designated hitter. .387 last year as a freshman. It's a young team, as Joe mentioned. A lot of promise for this Michigan ball club. The Wolverines have not been to the College World Series since 1984. In that World Series, they were eliminated in 2 straight.
One of the great things about the aluminum bat is it doesn't sting. And on a night like tonight, with the cold weather.
Good pitch. No way Price could handle that pitch.
Stone throws a good high fastball. It's up and in. Good spot. Right there. Tough pitch.
Count is 2-1 on Phil Price, with 2 men out here in the 6th. Missed. 3-1. Michigan had perhaps its best team under Bud Middaugh in 1985, when they had some outstanding players, Mike Waters, Casey Close, Barry Larkin, but they met up with Mississippi State.
Right.
The Thunder and Lightning, Will Clark and Rafael Palmeiro in the Southeast Regional. Mississippi State went on to the College World Series, eliminating Michigan. On the outside corner, Price will have to go back and face another.
So a fastball by Stone toward the outside corner. Close.
Get that little tail that helps the pitcher. And maybe the weather and the umpire wanting to move it along a little bit too helps the pitcher. Oh, tough pitch that Price fought off. Fastball inside on the hands. With a wooden bat, that's a lot of sting and a broken bat. Runner goes on the full count pitch, and 2 walks by Eric Stone with 2 men out. That's 4 walks in the ball game. Issued by Stone. He's allowed only 2 hits. A ground ball single up the middle in the 1st and an infield single. Here's Bill St. Peter, shortstop. Hits it hard, deep to left center field, and that is over the head of the left fielder Tollison. 2 runs will score on the double by Bill St. Peter, and Michigan is broken through, cashing in on the 2 walks given up by Eric Stone with 2 men out, and it's a 10-2 ball game.
I think it was a lack of concentration here. After 2 are out, he walks 2 guys, and then he throws a fastball that Bill St. Peter lines over the head of David Tollison in left field.
So 2 RBIs for St. Peter. 3rd hit of the ball game. And really the hardest hit ball of the ball game for Michigan. There's Tom Brock, the right fielder. We've seen a couple of 2-out rallies in this ball game. Texas got 5 in the first with 2 men out, nobody on. Against Jim Abbott. He's joined us late. Jim Abbott, the Sullivan Award winner, is the top amateur athlete in the country for 1987. Went 3 2/3 innings.
The thing that surprised me is that Stone is still throwing hard. What happens is, in the cold weather, usually your fingers start to get a little cold and your hand starts to slip off of the ball. He's not really missing by a big margin, and he's still throwing awfully hard under the adverse conditions.
Good fastball, and Brock got around late on it. Bill St. Peter led the team with 14 doubles last season, and rips one with 2 out here in the 6th to drive in 2 runs. 10 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Texas. 2 runs, 3 hits, 5 errors for Michigan. On the ground to short, Chamelis. That strong arm, Toledo makes the stretch. Stays on the bag, says the first base umpire. Good footwork by Toledo at first. Helps Chamelis on the long throw. Sides retired. Michigan gets 2, breaking through on the 2-run double by Bill St. Peter.